So where do I even begin? For close to 2 months, I had been working on my first video essay, which was originally going to be about how getting Keystone Master in World of Warcraft taught me to never give up on my goals. I spent countless hours working on the script, going through 3 drafts. I spent even more time capturing in-game footage to use for the video. Hell, I even recorded some IRL footage to use for comedic bits on the video. My buddy Jeff even made a cameo in a couple of clips.
That's what a guild is! No matter how bad things might get, nothing can stop us! See, I was watching Fast 9 and Dom literally opened up his butthole to reveal a spaceship and the whole theater went.
But then things changed. On July 20th, a lawsuit was filed against Activision Blizzard by the California Department of Fair Employment and Housing after a years-long investigation turned up stories of multiple women suffering daily harassment and abuse while working at the company. At the time, patch 9.1 for Shadowlands had been out for almost a month and I decided to get back into the game again. But after hearing the news, I was left with a sour taste in my mouth. I was unsure if I should continue playing the game, and also conflicted if I should continue to work on my video essay. The creative in me just couldn't let it go. I spent so much time and effort with the project, it would be wrong to just up and quit. I thought to myself, maybe I should just finish it, and then talk about how my stance had changed after hearing the news. But then, as if the universe was giving me the answer I was seeking, I stumbled upon an article from Hard Drive. The article was called Opinion. I know Blizzard sucks, but this video essay on why I love them took me 7 months. And I couldn't help but think someone I know must work for Hard Drive and wrote this about me as a call out to step away from both the game and this project. After talking to some friends and spending time meditating on it, I decided to not only scrap the video essay I was working on, but also quit World of Warcraft. Today, instead of talking about how Keystone Master inspired me to never give up on my goals, I'm going to talk about how World of Warcraft is a dying game and why I'm done with it. Now, before I talk about World of Warcraft, I have to address the Blizzard Activision lawsuits. There's a lot of news that's constantly evolving in regards to the situation, so I'm going to try and give you the cliff notes of it all. If you want to know even more about it, I'll share some links below to both articles and videos discussing it. As I mentioned before, on July 20th, a lawsuit was filed against Activision Blizzard. After this news dropped, many things started to unfold. Blizzard President J. Allen Brack stepped down, 3 longtime members of Blizzard Entertainment left the company, the employees banded together for a walkout, and Kotaku reported disturbing news about a Cosby suite where Alex A., one of the 2 people directly named in the lawsuit, would host parties as well as harass fellow female employees. This is just the tip of the iceberg as more and more news continues to spill out about the entire situation. Everything revolving around the lawsuit is rooted in the fact Activision Blizzard had a frat boy culture that they did nothing at all to stop. This isn't surprising as the gaming industry tends to be a boys club and women have a history of being harassed and disrespected. Riot Games, I'm looking at you. Hearing all of this news left me disappointed and disgusted. As someone who's been a Blizzard fan since the days of StarCraft and Warcraft 3, I have an emotional attachment to the company and the game. I played World of Warcraft at its launch 16 years ago. I've made so many friends over the years from playing that game and have so many good memories. While the focus of this video is on World of Warcraft, I'd like to state that I'm also a huge fan of Overwatch. The character designs always blew me away and I love playing support and tank roles. This is an FPS I became invested in and poured so many hours grinding my skill up and playing it competitive. So it was heartbreaking to know a majority of the people behind these games were committing horrible acts behind the scenes. Now, before the news of the lawsuits, my love and passion for both WoW and Overwatch was starting to die off. The quality of both of the games started to decline drastically. I continue to play these games because of the emotional attachment I built to them over the years, but also with the hope that they would get better over time. But the hard truth is, they didn't get better. They just kept getting worse. Now, I know I'm not alone in the sentiment that World of Warcraft and the quality of it has drastically declined. Even before the lawsuits, we started to see a massive drop in the amount of players active in the game. BellularGaming dropped a great video recently with the title, WoW's Health, The Numbers Don't Lie. Here's what we've discovered. I'll post a link to it below, but in this video, he does a fantastic job using data to show the health of the game.
In the 28 days before August 2nd, there were just over 3 million characters who logged into World of Warcraft at least once and belonged to a covenant. On February 2nd, that same statistic was 6.1 million. That is less than half the active characters after 6 months. Not good.
Looking at it from a strictly numbers standpoint, it's clear the game isn't doing so hot. If you go into YouTube right now and search I Quit WoW, you'll find tons of videos from high-profile YouTubers announcing their departure from the game. One of the biggest WoW YouTubers sharing his thoughts on this is Asmongold. Asmongold is a WoW streamer who's very vocal about his thoughts on the game and has not been quiet about the recent lawsuit going on with Blizzard.
I want the game to be good, and I want the people that are in the company to fucking not be in the company if they knew about this. Like, if they were okay with it, if they were doing it. Like, it's not complicated. You don't need to put out a message. There is a clear solution. Make the game better and get rid of the sexual abusers. Holy fuck, how hard is it?
At the end of it all, he decided to leave WoW for greener pastures and is now a very happy Final Fantasy XIV player. And a majority of the WoW community has decided to follow suit. The mass exodus of WoW players to Final Fantasy XIV was so insane, they actually had to temporarily stop selling digital copies of the game just to keep the already packed servers from overloading. We now know that a majority of people are quitting the game, but the question now is, what exactly is the reason? Checking out a Bellular clip called Players Choosing to Quit, What's Next for WoW, scrolling through the comments I found 3 big trends: the writing of the story, the quality of, as well as the lack of content, and the community itself. And in a lot of those comments, the lawsuit was the biggest motivation to finally be done with it once and for all. Now I feel at this point I should share my reason as to why I'm quitting WoW. My personal favorite YouTube channel for WoW has been MarcelianOnline. The class guides they put together are some of the best ones out there and have truly allowed me to be the best I can be with my chosen class. They released a new video called A Letter to Blizzard WoW Devs, and while they aren't quitting the game, they have the same complaints that I have.
Oh, so after you level a character, you have to choose a covenant. After that, you have to go through its story and grind this thing called Anima and Renowned in order to unlock a different talent tree with little balls, which will slightly increase your power. But not only that, there are also legendaries you have to craft by grinding this second gameplay loop called Torghast. This on top of the gear you'll already know about, yeah? And then in the raid, if you do decide to raid, you also get these weird gems that give you a bonus if you collect 3 of the same kind. And if you want to play a different class, yeah, you go through all that again.
The entire system you have to participate in at endgame is absolutely horrendous. The game feels like a part-time job that I'm not getting paid for. Another issue I have with the game is the ability to get into raids and Mythic Plus dungeons. If you aren't a part of a guild, you have to rely on a system built for pre-made groups that is hot garbage, and the players in it are very toxic. If you scroll through listings, you'll find post after post of people selling dungeon and raid spots for in-game currency as well as actual money. Now, selling runs for in-game gold is annoying, but I can accept it as a form for players to get gold. But selling runs for cash actually goes against the terms of service. Yet Blizzard doesn't do much to actually stop this from happening. And it only gets worse from there. Once you've found a group, good luck getting into it. If you aren't playing a class and spec that's part of the current meta, you're going to have a very difficult time being accepted in groups. Since playing Shadowlands, I can say I've spent more time looking for groups to run dungeons with than actually playing the game. The final thing I'd like to add is that once you're in a group, you have to pray that no one rage quits, because if they do, the run is over. In a Mythic Plus, you cannot replace players who have left the instance. So, if someone rage quits because you wiped out a boss, all that time you spent in the dungeon is wasted. Between all the work that has to go into getting your character prepared for this type of content, and the frustration I have trying to play the actual content, I no longer have the will to keep going. Now, I've managed to cover a lot of ground today, but there's still one last thing I want to touch on before I wrap this up. Where do we go from here? On September 1st, Blizzard released a blue post with all the upcoming information on the 9.1.5 PTR. I'll link you to videos that go in depth, but some of the highlights involve uncapped AoE, the ability to switch covenants freely, and legendary scrapping. While this is great news, these are things players have been complaining about since the start of Shadowlands, and it's very obvious Blizzard is pulling the ripcord with this patch to take some of the heat off the lawsuits. It shouldn't have taken negative press for them to finally give the players what they've wanted since day one. But pleasing the players isn't enough. Blizzard needs to improve working conditions for their developers. In order for them to consistently create and release good content, they need a better work environment. The more the employees have to suffer, the more the players will suffer as well. These two issues go hand in hand, and until Activision Blizzard takes care of their employees, the players will be left with half-baked content that will continue to cause more of them to leave. With all of that being said, thank you for watching this video. As much as I wanted my first video essay to be an inspiring story about how a game made me a better person, it just didn't feel right with everything going on. If you're watching this right now and have been on the fence about leaving World of Warcraft, I hope this might help you with that decision. And if you're someone who's decided to stick it out, I'd love to know why in the comments below. In general, I'd love to hear your thoughts on World of Warcraft as well as the Blizzard Activision lawsuits. Make sure to hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and turn notifications on to know when the next video drops.